Hello, my lovely friends, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa, and this is Isla and Alice, and in today's video, we are going to be continuing to work in this notebook that my very good friend Jody had gifted me last year with these beautiful owls on it. And it is a notebook that has plain lined paper in it. But I decided when I got it, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That's just stunning. When she gave it to me, I thought, you know what? I need it to be something more than just a regular notebook. I wanted it to be very special because she gave it to me. So as you can see, last year, I started to work in this. And what I wanted to do was create a planner, but that was sort of like a junk journal, if that makes sense. So I needed, really the biggest criteria was I needed space, obviously, to write things in. And so I did pretty good. I got a bunch of pages done. I love those two ladies. They're up to no good, those two. And so I probably worked in this on and off. Let's see here. Up until, did I write? Nope. I didn't forget about it. But, you know, life kind of got in the way. August the 17th. Okay, tariffs are coming. Need to pivot again. Adjust. Okay, well, that's an understatement. So I worked in this on and off. I had a really good time not only creating it, but I had a good time. I enjoyed writing in it. The one thing that I came to sort of realize as I went along, that even though I had spaces for writing, I needed bigger space. Meaning, once I started writing on the back of the postcards, that really floated my boat. And I was like, okay. And we're obviously like this far into the book. I'm just over half. And I realized that if I created a ton of little flip tip outs and pockets and things, it was going to get really, really chunky. And as much as I love a chunky journal, and I really do, I didn't want it to get so big that I couldn't work in it or comfortably write in it. Because it's supposed, like, it's a planner. And I'm supposed to be planning. Right? So, going forward, I didn't do anything there, and I didn't write anything in this vintage greeting card here. I didn't write anything there. So I guess once August hit, that was pretty much the end of, oh, I wrote something there. Okay. Anyhow, I dug it out over Christmas, and I wanted to start off the new year by, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted to breathe some new life into this book. So I had this old vintage Christmas card and this cute little Hello Kitty Christmas card. And so I decided that I would just start here, and I'm going to do some writing here. I'll glue this down probably. And then underneath the 25, same. I've just got this Post-it note, sticky note thing here. I'm going to write some notes in here about thoughts that I had about the end of the year and things that I want to change and things that I need to change. Which is going to be really hard to admit to myself, but I am prepared. I'm going to do it. And then here on this side, I already wrote a bunch of ideas about 2026. This is a little to-do list. I've got more to add to this. And then underneath here, I just created a little card with my index card here. And there'll be some more of my many, many, many thoughts that go through my head. I will keep track of some of that there. So what I thought we'd do today as I was moving forward is that I would work on some pages with you. I pretty much have some stuff out. I kind of know where things are going to go. At least that's the plan. So I went in, and as you can see, I just did some collaging here with some scraps of paper. which is one of my favorite things to do. And I'm sticking with blues and light greens and whites, except for this. And then that's as far as I got with the gluing of the paper. But for winter, I really like to stick to these tones and these colors. And that, my friends, is what we're going to work with. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her exactly, and I didn't have anything prepared for here, but we are going to start here. So I have these two cutie patootie owls. They're actually postcards from a set of owls in sweaters that I have on my website. And I cut them down, and I'm going to do my journaling and my thought processes on the back. They're going to get tucked into this belly band like this. And I like the idea of the two little owls tucked in there together. But I do want to have a little bit of space to write in behind them as well. I'm not a huge fan of my handwriting. I'm trying to get past that and get over the fact that it's just messy. That's just the way it is. But I still do quite a bit of hidden journaling when it comes to my writing. So what I was thinking I was going to do, I have this cute little doily digital, and I was thinking it doesn't have a ton of blank space, but I thought this would be good for just, I don't know, writing 3 or 4 lines of something. That could go sort of in behind them like that. Yeah, I don't care if it really pokes out a little bit there. So I thought that would be kind of fun. I mean, the thing is, I'm not going to be doing a ton of note keeping. This is more just like bullet points or inspiration ideas that come to my mind. Like, don't forget, blah, 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 blah. Try this, blah, 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 blah. Maybe this would work. You know, that kind of idea. And then I dug out these sticky notes tabs that I totally forgot that I had. And in the interest of using more of what we have, I was like, wow, these are the perfect colors to go in for this time of the year. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue a little one in there and get rid of all the cat hair. That's like attached to the back of it. Compliments of Sophie and Lucy. And, you know, I'm a big fan when I'm doing these things. I really do like the idea of just having these tiny little spots where you just put in a couple words. And again, it's just sort of a reminder. And because I always say the biggest lie we tell ourselves is, I'll remember. I think I'm going to remember. I never remember. And I like this quote here. And suddenly you know it's time to start something new and trust the magic of beginnings. I love that. So actually, let's just put that down there. Because, you know, that's what this time of the year is all about. Whether or not we follow through with certain ideas, that's a video for another day. Follow through is not what we're concerned about right now. Right now, we're just concerned about getting going, right? Testing out some ideas, testing out some theories, thinking while we're sitting on the couch, watching movies under blankets. For me, January's about doing a lot of thinking while I keep warm and eat a bunch of comfort foods that I'm not supposed to eat. And yeah, the more cheese and potatoes, the better. Okay, so that's going to be good there. I like that. And then let's glue this down before any more cat hair gets attached to it. Okay, there. Now, okay, I love these two. They're so super cute. Okay, so then I have this here, and I like the browns of the Scrabble tiles with his hat and the sweater there. So let's stick that on there. I am a huge lover of lists. The more lists, the better. And so I like doing this kind of a journal idea. Oh yeah, I was going to do something with this. I like this kind of idea because, again, it doesn't require a ton of writing. I have another book where I can sort of go on and on and on if I want to about where I think I'm going, what it is I think I need to do, what it is I think I need to change. I really like this idea because it's really just about jotting stuff down. Little tiny inspirations, that kind of thing. And of course, it's fun because I get to glue paper onto other paper. It's what we do. Oh yeah. Look at those two. Snug as two little bugs in a rug. I love it. I love it. I think I'm just going to leave it that simple. I was thinking about trying to put something down here. Oh, that bunny. That hair. He's kind of cute, isn't he? And his colors match with the browns and the brown. Oh, okay. Okay. He wants to be there with his owl friends. So who am I to say no? Just ask the cats. I rarely say no. Okay. Perfect. Now, on this side, I already have a little pocket here, and I have, this is actually a photograph of a vintage image that years ago I was making Christmas cards, and I had printed off photos at Costco, and I was doing paper crafts with those. And so I just put some white sticker paper on the back, so it's a nice clean surface to write on. So, and I've already got a little doohickey here where I'm going to do a quick for my note taking. So that I think is just going to get tucked up in there because I love these tones of the greens and the blues and these tones of the same hues, right? Sort of, it all kind of pulls together there. I want something to go on here. And I have this number 1 that I cut out from a calendar. Even though it doesn't really look like a 1, we're going to call it a 1. We're going to make the executive decision, and it's going to be a 1. And again, I like how the blues and the turquoise here kind of goes with these on either side. And then I like the idea of having lights. You guys, if you watch me regularly, you know that I'm a big fan of putting candles. Ooh, hang on here. I love putting candles. No. In my journal, and whether it's this kind of a planner or whatever, I like adding in the element of warmth and light into my collage. That one's not going to work. So that one, I also have, although there's this vintage lamp here. No, I think this one works better. There's just this sort of understood premise that when, you know, where there's light, there's heat. And where there's heat, there's warmth. It's comforting, right? So that, I think that'll go there. And then I can make some little notes. And then I have this owl. And again, those who know me know I love owls, and they remind me of my granny, which is part and parcel of why Jody gave me the journal in the first place. So I do like that. I was also sort of looking at this sort of little vellum page. No, let's put this here, and I can jot down some wise words with the owl beside it. This is sort of what I had planned. Now, check this out. So then I have this gold die cut that I'm going to very, very carefully glue to the side there. I think just like that. Ooh, I like that a lot. Because I don't want to glue it on the postcard, or on the photo, sorry, because I don't want it to cover up the little deer there, fawn rather. And I like the idea that the die cut hangs off the page a little bit, and then you can see the tiny bits of blue poke through there. Now I have January that could kind of go I don't know. Let's get this glued on here first. Now, I have to make sure I put the glue on the right side. Wouldn't be the wrong... the first time I glued the wrong side of a die cut down. Okay. Let's just go light, light, light. Not too much. I have a tendency to be a bit ham-fisted with the glue. Okay, so just tiny little... What did we do before? Art glitter glue in these tiny little nozzles. Talk about a game changer, huh? Okay. So then, carefully, carefully. The thing with this art glitter glue is you literally don't have a lot of time to move it around and wiggle too much to get it in place. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh, that's super cute. That looks really nice. Yeah, that's a decent amount of space to jot down some of my brilliant ideas. Hopefully they are brilliant. Okay, now I kind of feel like it needs something. Okay, so I definitely like this. So let's glue down the things that I am 100% sure about. So I'm going to put the light there. We know that we like this. Is this a sticker? No, this is a cardstock. This probably came from some ephemera pack, probably a Tim Holtz thing. So let's glue. So I hope everybody had a lovely holiday and you survived relatively unscathed. Hard to believe. What's today? Today's the 9th of January, and it's hard to believe that we are once again starting off a new year. Time just flies by. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm definitely going to be trying to have a slow January. I'm trying not to be my regular chaotic self. I'm trying just to take everything one day at a time, try not to overthink, overplan, overschedule, you know. I'm one of the few people that really enjoys the long nights in January. I like the cozy quietness. I like that it's peaceful outside, that it's quiet. Okay, now we've got... Oh. This isn't the best cutout of a candle. I don't hate that, you know. Okay, so January could possibly go there. I have this little box. I brought this in just in case I wanted some lace, because normally I do. Okay, so my instinct is to want to do that and just have a little tab. But then I cover up the January. I could do the January down here, but decisions. Oh, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm just going to staple this on here. Ta-da! And then, to those of you who watch and put up with my weird sense of humor, you have no idea how much I appreciate you. Do we need a red candle in the corner? Do we? Oh, maybe no. Well, maybe we don't need January here. You know what? I kind of like this splash of red with this Oh, now, here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. I was going to say, I like the splash of the red. He's got this tiny little red bit in the collar. Yeah, let's just do it. I think, is this a sticker? I think so. I don't have any real huge plans for January, I have to say, other than spending an enormous amount of time with the cats on the sofa. There's some movies that I want to catch up on. There we go. There we go. I love it. Love it. Okay. Now, this side's not going to be that involved or exciting, but practically speaking, I am going to get quite a bit of space to write. So I've got this gorgeous image here of this beautiful moon and this winter scene in the forest. And so, of course, this is going to go under this belly band, and I'm going to put this underneath here. And I'm actually going to try and keep it pretty simple and not overdo things or get too carried away. I like that there, and that's probably going to be about it. Sometimes keeping it simple is best. Okay, so I'm going to tuck this up a little bit higher here. And then I had this here. How wide is this? Okay, I'm going to rip this. And this will also just give me a tiny little bit of space to write one of my many magical new ideas. Or here's hoping. Or maybe just a note to remind myself to get all my steps in and don't be slacking off. January, sitting on the couch doesn't mean I can't get my steps in. Or I shouldn't be getting my steps in. I like that, but that's too many. Nope. Okay. Now, once again, I think I'm going to put a little lace tab there just to jazz it up a little bit. Make it fancy. Oh, that reminds me. I have been toying around with a word for 2026. I do like to have a word of the year, or at least start off the year with a word. And I was thinking, it's sort of a long story, but I was thinking about using the word detail, meaning pay attention to the details, working with more details. So then, because I've been watching some videos on YouTube about design of all kinds, whether it's clothing design, architecture design, any kind of design that you can think of. And we've sort of got, boring, for lack of a better word. So many of our buildings are boring, and clothing is kind of boring. And one of the things that it's really lacking are details, right? And I was like, oh, this is very interesting to me. Anyways, long story short, I thought then that maybe my word for 2026 should be fancy. And I think it might just be fancy. Why? Because I think that I would like to spend more time working on things and making things look a little bit fancy. I don't think we do fancy enough anymore. And we don't take the time for fancy. We don't, there's that whole, it's a cliche, but there's that whole saying, use the fancy towels. The fancy towels are not just for your guests. They should be for you. Use your fancy dishes. Use the fancy silverware. And it occurred to me that maybe 2026 could be a little bit more fun if I got a little more fancy. So that's what I've been playing with. So hopefully I have some fancy ideas to write down in this planner. Okay, I love this. So once again, we've got the collage. You guys know I love numbers, and I've got the blues and the greens to sort of pop out against the starkness of the black and the white. I have this lovely postcard of Prague Castle there. What does it say? It just says Prague in black and white. Oh, it doesn't give us sadly, it doesn't give a year. Not that it really matters. But anyways, again, I don't know if anybody who's been to Prague, you know that Prague is very fancy. They have lots of very fancy architecture. It's medieval, but it's fancy. And I have another one of these gold tree die cuts. And what I was thinking was I was going to glue this tuck spot, belly band, whatever you want to call it, glue it down so that the postcard sits down a little bit lower. So then I can glue the die cut of the tree so that it sticks up. And we've got this nice gold contrast over the blue and the numbers, and then this tiny little bit of gold contrast on this, with the grays and the black and the whites. I think that the back of the postcard is the only place where I'm going to be writing. Ooh, you know what? No, I could put something here. Ooh, maybe even just this. That'll work. But I think what we should do first is glue her down. So let's just make sure that I get everything lined up. Okay, so let me turn this like this, and then, yeah, I mean, I'm not, I always make jokes. I'm not fancy people as a rule, but there's something to be said for enjoying really pretty things, enjoying things that are just really lovely to look at. And I think that on some level, we've gotten away from that. Everything's about fast. Everything's multitasking. We're always in a hurry. And perhaps it comes from my need to sort of slow down a little bit and not be so chaotic, whether it's in my actions or in my thinking, right? But I think it's about allowing myself this sort of time and space to enjoy, again, the details, and to enjoy some finer things. Doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be grandiose. But we tend, or certainly I do, I know that I tend to overlook details. I'm did I give my, yes, I did. I'm so focused on getting to the end of something, finish the project, finish the book, finish cleaning, finish whatever it is, that I'm not paying attention to the details. And I think that's something that I really should be doing, meaning for my own well-being. And also, I think that part of the fancier, quote-unquote, things of life include those details that we tend to overlook. Anyways, I could be blowing smoke, but that's that's what I'm thinking for this year going forward. So stay tuned. We'll see how fancy things get. Okay, now speaking of fancy, let's get our glitter glue and lightly doop, 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 doop. Dab, 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 dab. I look back over the last few years. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I've spent a lot of time in the past few years just being really in a hurry, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm in a hurry. Like, it certainly hasn't served me well, so not the way that I intended it to, that's for darn sure. And so there's a part of me that sort of feels like, you know, maybe it's just time. Okay, now how am I going to do this so I don't... Like I said, with this glitter glue, you don't have a lot of time. It hasn't, being in a hurry and being chaotic and thriving in mayhem hasn't served me as well as maybe I thought it would or should, right? Okay, let's just push this down a wee bit. And I have to say, I'm actually looking forward to doing things quite differently. Instead of just being in a hurry to get through to the next project, to pay attention to the details. You know, stop and smell the roses, if you will. Ooh, yeah. I like that a lot. That's nice. That's very pretty. Okay, so then we've got between 80 and right here to glue this down. So let me just do this, and then that'll give me a tiny little space. So I think it was Leslie who had asked me a while ago about continuing to work in this journal or notebook planner. And so Leslie, I hope that you will enjoy what has gone on here today. And I will be working more regularly in this notebook. And yeah, we'll go through it together as the year unfolds. And I don't know how many pages are left. There's quite a few. So, you know, giddy up. I gotta get on this. And uh-oh, I'm gonna have some technical issues here. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I like that. That looks really nice. That's good. Okay, now I have this January. Can I get it to... Nope. I'd like to just take a tiny bit off. If I can I... Yep, okay. There we go. That works. Okay, I'm going to use my glue stick on this one so that way I can smush it around and get it in just the right place. Voila! There you have it. But yeah, boy, I'm going to have to be I'm going to have to be extra careful with this. Gentle, gentle, careful, careful. So when I'm writing on here, can't be all rammy, getting that in there. Yeah, I like how that turned out. You know, this is my premise going forward with this. Like I said earlier, as much as I love, like I have this here and this tucked in here, I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy the challenge of trying to figure out how to make pockets within pockets and more pockets and tuck spots and stuff that goes in. Like, I love doing that, but I think for this going forward, the pages that I got the most use out of were the pages where I had the larger surfaces to write on, and there was less fussing about. So I've sort of just, my other journal, my regular junk journal, that will fulfill my need for fussy bits and all the tiny little pockets and places and things and doodads and whatever, right? This needs something here. Oh yeah, that fits. And the other thing I like about doing this kind of thing too with this is another good way for me to use up what I have as far as scraps of paper go. Oh, this was the label from the champagne that Milosh and I had on New Year's Eve. I'd forgotten about that. And then, yeah, we'll come back and do something with her because I love her. And we'll have to do something here. But I'm happy with how this turned out. The only thing that I would do differently with this little belly band here is I should have glued it in a little bit more on the sides to keep these guys in here a little bit tighter. This I love. This looks great. I can even write a little bit something on here. I'm glad we put the candle in there. That looks super cute. Yeah. There you have it, everybody. Those are the first planner pages for 2026. I suppose actually somewhere, maybe here, I should do a big 2026. Yeah, I'll work that out. Maybe I have some die cuts or something, but we'll figure that out for next time. Yay! It's done. It's done. And now I can go in and start making some notes and ideas and, get this party started. Okay, everybody, thank you very, very much for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys know how much your time and attention means to me. If you did make it to the end of this video, I very, very much appreciate it. Please do give it a little thumbs up. And as I always say, speak kindly to yourselves. Enjoy your journal and/or planner process. Until the next video, take care, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye. Thanks for watching.